Hey guys, Mike here, and in this clip we're having side by side the Samsung Galaxy S4 and the Sony Xperia Z, two of the best Android handsets of the moment. We'll start our comparison by taking a quick look at these two handsets. On one side there's the Galaxy S4, with its plastic body and a rather dull design that closely resembles last year's Samsung phones, the Note 2 and the Galaxy S3. On the other there's the Xperia Z, with its glass body and a rectangular shape. The Z does look and feel more premium than the S4, but its sharp edges and pointy corners don't make it very comfortable to hold. The fact that it's a little bit larger and heavier than the Galaxy doesn't help its cause either. However, the Xperia Z is IP57 certified, which means that it's water and dust resistant and can be submerged in up to 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes, and that's something you're not getting with other premium smartphones. On the other hand, that means that all the ports are covered with plastic flaps on the Xperia Z, so they are not that easily accessible. It also means that the battery is sealed and non-removable, while on the S4 that plastic bag can be easily peeled off, allowing access to a replaceable battery and the SIM and microSD card slots. 5-inch Full HD screens cover the greater part of the front faces on these two phones. Samsung went for a Super AMOLED panel on the S4 with a redesigned pan-tile matrix, and the results are awesome. Colors, black levels, contrast, viewing angles are all very good on the S4. But some of you might not like the oversaturated look of this panel. The screen on the Z does look more natural, but it's also duller and less vibrant, although when watching movies the bundled Sony Mobile Bravia Engine 2 does work wonders. But the viewing angles are really bad, as you'll notice color shifting with even the slightest of tilts on the Xperia. On top of that, the S4 screens is covered by a layer of Gorilla Glass 3, and is sensitive enough to be used with gloves and all sorts of other objects, while Sony went for a different kind of tough glass protecting the display on the Z. Below the screen you'll notice a physical home button on the S4, flanked by menu and back capacitive controls. The Xperia Z offers back, home and multitasking buttons, but integrates them within the display. This does eat a small strip from the screen area, but also means that the controls will rotate with the apps and completely vanish when not used. So frankly, I think I like Sony's approach a bit more. Hardware-wise, the Z falls a bit short, as it's built on an older Snapdragon configuration. The Galaxy S4 that we have here, the international version, is powered by a newer Snapdragon 600 processor, while the graphics and the amount of RAM are similar between the two. That of course makes the S4 slightly faster in benchmarks, but with daily use, you'll hardly feel that one is snappier than the other, unless performing some really heavy tasks, like playing games, editing videos, and so on. Both the Xperia Z and the Galaxy S4 are running Android Jelly Bean, 4.2 on the Samsung and only 4.1 on the Sony, but with a promised upgrade to 4.2. However, while Sony only lightly skinned the interface and kept the overall experience close to what you're getting with stock Android, the TouchWiz UI on the S4 does change some things. Not that many though. With the Xperia, you get an UI built around some Sony proprietary services, like their Music and Video Unlimited, the Walkman app or the Xperia Link. Plus a bunch of tiny tweaks for the lock screen, home screen and up drawer, the tiny apps, the great task manager and so on. Samsung bundles many of their own apps on the Galaxy S4 as well, including some brand new S apps like S Voice Drive or S Health, plus features like multi-windowed use or group play. It also brings gesture, plenty of them. Many of the new ones make use of the IR sensor on top of the screen, like Air View, that allows you to interact with the screen just by hovering your finger over it, or the air gestures that help you control the phone by swiping your hand in front of it. There's also eye tracking that makes the phone react based on your eye's movement. Besides that, both handsets are snappy and can deal with all sorts of apps and content. They can be great multimedia companions thanks to their large 5-inch screens, suitable for watching movies and playing games. When it comes to the sound quality, the speaker on the Xperia Z is tiny and stupidly placed where it can be easily muffled with your hand, while the one on the S4 is much better. But both handsets also bundle some very good earbuds, and I'm sure many of you will use those instead. Besides that, both phones offer great connectivity options with support for 4G LTE, NFC and so on. The S4 does offer Wi-Fi 802 AC that makes it a bit more future-proof. Signal strength was very good with both of these, but the S4 does offer somewhat better call quality, and that's mainly because the Z speaker and mics aren't very loud and sound a bit muffled, due to the fact that the Xperia is waterproof. Okay, let's move on and talk about the cameras. Both the Z and the S4 feature front shooters that can take 1080p videos and 13 megapixel main cameras on the back. The camera interface is cleaner and simpler to use on the Z, as many will probably stick to the superior auto that smartly selects between a bunch of pre-existing shooting modes. On the Galaxy, you will have to pick those shooting modes manually, and that takes time to get used to, but the S4 does offer more features than the Z, with things like dual shot, drama shot or 360. In the end though, results matter more than the interface, and they favor the Samsung. The Galaxy S4 takes sharper pictures and captures more details than the Xperia Z, both in fair and in poor light conditions. That doesn't mean that the Z is a bad shooter, not at all, but the S4 does tend to outmatch it each and every time. When it comes to videos though, the two are a lot closer, but the Samsung still has an edge over its competitor thanks to its sharper and more lively looking captures. Both can take 1080p 30 frames per second videos, and the Z can also take HDR clips. Last but not least, there's the battery life. The S4 houses a larger 2600 mAh battery, easily removable and also able to support wireless charging. On the Z, there's a smaller 2330 mAh battery. With average use, the S4 can easily go through the day and will even reach the end of the second day most of the time. The Z on the other hand can barely make it through the first day on a charge, and that's not good enough for me. All this being said, it's time for the conclusions. The Xperia Z is Sony's best smartphone ever, and for the last 2 months or so it was probably the best Android handset money could buy, but not anymore. As I've showed you in this video, the Samsung Galaxy S4 manages to outmatch it on most chapters. It's more compact, it sports a better screen, has a better camera, lasts longer on a charge and does offer more features, like an IR blaster, more sensors and a suite of gestures. When it comes to daily performances, the two are however close. And the Z still holds some aces on its side of the table, with its IP57 certification and the glass-clad body, that does look and feel way better than the plasticky body of the Samsung. Besides that, the Xperia Z is cheaper than the Galaxy S4 and will probably get even cheaper in the next months, and that can make it more appealing to some of you. Even so, my money are on the Galaxy here, despite not being a fan of the glossy plastic case and the oversaturated screen. But how about you? Leave a comment below and let me know which one of these would you choose and why. And if there are any important features of the two I didn't include in this comparison, please tell me about them as well. Okay, and that's about it for now. Thanks for watching and please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Also, I've got plenty of other clips with both the Galaxy S4 and the Xperia Z on the channel, so you might want to check them out as well. I'll see you in the next one.